has been years since I started using an iPhone, the same one I'm recording this video with, as my main phone after having used plenty of Android devices for several years. I remember that the one before this was a Xiaomi Note 11, one of the few things I've regretted to buy in my life, as it didn't turn out to be what I expected. Now, after using an iPhone and an Apple ecosystem for a year, I'm in love with the fluidity of working between a Mac, an iPad, and an iPhone. Plus, I love the user experience and aesthetics of the operating systems, both macOS, iPad, and iOS. Everything feels so fluid when interacting across these devices. However, earlier the last year, having seen the unveiling of Samsung's generation of foldables, the Z Flip6 had reignited my interest in an Android device, seeing the technology of flexible displays and foldable devices become more and more mature. So, last December, thanks to the magic of Christmas and the power of credit, I was finally able to get my hands on one. So, after a year of using an iPhone and being immersed in the Apple ecosystem, I've been using this Galaxy Z Flip6 as my main phone, and wow, I've already noticed some pretty cool things, as well as things that I really liked about the Samsung One UI customization layer, as well as things that I don't like or that find weird. In this video, I will tell you about the features of the device, One UI, photography, video, and a few more things about this unique device. Stick around, I'll tell you all about it. This version of the Galaxy Z Flip6, in addition to the beautiful blue color, has 512GB of storage as well as 12GB of RAM. As for the processor, we can find a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy, an octa-core processor conceived by Qualcomm launched last year, focused on the use of artificial intelligence models that we have seen in mobile phones. More precisely, since the launch of the Galaxy S24 and the Galaxy Z Flip6 and the Fold 6 at the beginning of 2024, where the inclusion of Gemini, Google's AI model, was also announced, as well as the launch of the Pixel 9. When I took it out of the box, I had an idea it would be quite fragile, but the build feels pretty solid. It is a little fragile though because of the hinge and the bendable screen. When it comes to the main screen, it has a size of 6.7 inches, being about 6.6 inches in reality due to the rounded corners. The technology of this is dynamic AMOLED times with a resolution of 2640 by 1080 pixels, a Full HD Plus resolution, being able to represent 16 million colors. This screen has a maximum refresh rate of 120 Hz. As for the tiny one on the front, which is quite useful, I might say, it has a size of 3.4 inches, being 3.3 inches real because of the rounded corners. The technology of this screen is a Super AMOLED with a resolution of 720 by 748 pixels, being also capable of represent 16 million colors. As for the cameras on the back, which is more like the front when you fold down the phone, there are two, being a multi-resolution model with a 50 and a 12 megapixel sensors, with apertures of 1.8 and 2.2 respectively. This camera system has autofocus and optical image stabilizer, plus up to 2 times optical zoom and up to 10 times digital zoom. The camera we have on the main screen, being, well, the front camera when the device is unfolded, has a 10 megapixel sensor with an aperture of 2.2, mentioning also that it does not have autofocus. This device is capable of recording video in up to 4K resolution at 60 FPS, plus a slow motion recording and up to 240 FPS in Full HD. In Mexico, this device is dual SIM compatible, being one physical SIM and other an eSIM, both capable of connecting to a 5G network as long as it is available in the area. The connectivity technology that this phone has are industry standards, because in terms of physical ports, it only has a USB-C 3.2 port first generation, which is the charging port, the headphone port in case you have ones with a USB-C connection, as well as data exchange port between the phone and the computer. In terms of wireless technology, we can find Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.3 and an NFC sensor plus Qi charging. The battery that this Z Flip6 has is 4000 mAh, which according to Samsung offers up to 19 hours of internet usage time connected to the mobile network, giving a further hour up to 20 hours of internet usage time connected to a Wi-Fi network. If we talk about video playback time, this is up to 23 hours. All this battery usage time is very depending on how you use the device in real life conditions. Personally, I've had all-day battery life, with around 30% of this battery life still remaining. As for video playback, it is capable of up to 8K quality video playback at 60 FPS. Unfortunately, it doesn't have support for Samsung DeX. The feature on some Samsung devices for setting up a desktop-style space by connecting the device to an external monitor, with the ability to connect a mouse and a keyboard via Bluetooth. While there are ways to force this style on this phone from the setting panel, it is not optimized nor recommended nor flawlessly supported in this way. Now let's move on to its operating system. Although this device has Android 14, being a Samsung device, it has the One UI customization layer. This customization layer also gives a particular aesthetic to the icons of the apps, giving this sensation of having a Samsung device on hand. Personally, I like the iOS aesthetics better, but I find the Samsung style the most interesting and the most beautiful among all of the customization layers of Android, especially over Honor and Xiaomi. Now, it's a completely biased opinion. You might like the look of one or the other, and there's nothing wrong about it. Speaking of jewel in Samsung's and lately Google's and Apple's crown, artificial intelligence. This device, as I mentioned, comes factory integrated with the Gemini, as well as the Samsung's virtual assistant Bixby. Now, while it can be quite useful for some scenarios, personally I have found these tools to be very helpful so far. Perhaps this will change as the days go by. As for the audio, it has a stereo system, having a speaker on the bottom and using the speaker on the top. Of course, for that, it is no longer stereo, but the audio quality of this audio system is quite good, which is to be expected from a phone of this price. One thing I really miss about the iPhone when using this Z Flip6 is Apple Pay. As right now, Samsung has a similar app called Samsung Pay, which had gone live in Mexico at the end of 2018, but for some reason in 2021, it was withdrawn from the Mexican market. I must admit that I don't like to carry cash. I prefer to just take out my phone and pay, and that's it. What's more, imagine you forget your wallet and the only thing you have with you is your phone. Instead of the embarrassment of having to lift the things you wanted to buy at the checkout and run for your wallet, you just pull out your phone and pay, and that's it, you can call it a day. In the US and France, Samsung Pay is still available. Just check that your bank has support for this app. I don't know, let's see, this phone is pretty cool. Plus, it works great with a PC wirelessly, even without being a Galaxy book, as long as you use Samsung Flow and QuickShare apps, which are available on the Microsoft Store. So I also think it is a good tool for creatives. Plus, you can just lift the top of the screen with right where the cameras are and take great shots without anyone else's help. However, these flexible screens, they have evolved quite a bit from the other versions, are still quite fragile. On this device, although from my perspective, I think Samsung prices are quite expensive compared to Apple cars. But it is very much worth it for this device. If your screen breaks down and you are insured, the deductible you will be charged is more affordable than if you don't have insurance, as the repair of the screen alone can be up to 16,000 pesos, more or less like 765 euros or almost $800. What do you think about this phone? I really love it. It's been quite interesting to use these days, and we'll see how the next few months go. Also, in this January, it's very likely that Samsung's next generation of foldable devices will already be unveiled. So it will be quite interesting to see what the improvements are compared to this generation of foldable phones. I would just mention that if you don't have a PC or any other Android device and you use only Apple devices, I think it would be not the best to go for any Samsung's option, as they are not directly compatible with Macs. No Android device is, but at least some other brands have several solutions, such as Honor and its Honor Suite app. Tell me in the comments about your experience with a foldable phone, or if you would like to buy or are you planning to buy one. Thank you very much for sticking around to the end. If you liked the video, don't forget to give me a like and share it with your friends. That would help me quite a lot. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any new video. See you next time, GAMAGA.